Hello everyone! Welcome back. Last time we left off, the Yume fleet had just begun their voyage to Kenwara. Now, there were several reasons why Kenwara was chosen as the initial target for the Yume invasion. Strategically, it was located at the heart of Akabuto's west coastal defense and was not too important for foreign traders to rally any serious diplomatic resistance. In other words, it was valuable enough to hurt the Aokabuto shogunate, but not enough to invite intervention from pesky foreigners. A perfect target. More importantly, the port of Kenwara faced the Ditokian Ocean, and was thus lightly defended compared to Akabuto's other fortifications. Now, the Yume fleet was actually spotted by coast watchmen several days before the invasion, yet the response was slower than a snail. Internal rivalries and complacency bred by years of prosperity left them ill-prepared to deal with a sudden threat. By the time the Yume attack fleet had reached Kenwara, a tentative blockade had been established on the north and west coast, but the Akabuto leadership had only just agreed to reorganize a proper standing army. As the morning gave way to noon, the Yume fleet descended upon Kenwara. First came waves of arrows, causing disarray among the local garrison at Fort Asagao. In any other scenario, they would have just shelled the fortification, but it was needed in good condition if they were to ever use it themselves. And having to repair something you had destroyed would be very annoying. Then came the dragons, in 3 waves of 4, and while at least 3 were felled by Kenwara's anti-air defense in the form of ballistae, the rest laid waste to much of the city and the fort. In under 7 hours, Kenwara had fallen. Its garrison and defenses shattered. The city now lay in the hands of the Yume Shogunate. Moromune's gamble had paid off. Kenwara was his, and with it, the gateway to the Akabuto heartland. Moromune struck while the iron was hot. In the days following the fall of Kenwara, the Yume Shogunate's forces moved swiftly along the coast, securing the surrounding towns and villages with minimal resistance. The fall of Kenwara had shattered the morale of the Akabuto defenders, and local leaders, seeing the writing on the wall, surrendered in droves rather than risk complete annihilation. But the ease of their advance concealed a growing problem. The initial Yume attack had been a stunning success, yet the logistics of holding and supplying their gains quickly spiraled into a nightmare. The rapid march along the coast left many garrisons undermanned and supply lines overstretched. Worse still, the rise of local resistance was becoming a significant thorn in the side of Yume forces. These insurgents had deep knowledge of their terrain, making them difficult targets for the Yume army. Despite these challenges, Moromune pressed forward. His goal was clear: the city of Hanashiro, the capital of Akabuto. But the Akabuto shogunate was not as defenseless as it seemed. The shock of Kenwara's fall had galvanized Akabuto under the newly elected Shogun Goja Ryosuke, described by many as a brilliant but overly cautious strategist. Ryosuke understood that the Yume forces were overextended, and he exploited this weakness. Rather than meet the Yume army in open battle, his forces harassed the Yume supply lines, laid traps in the dense forests and mountains of Yokojima, and scorched the earth whenever the Yume forces attempted to advance further inland. By the end of the autumn months, the unrelenting advance of the Yume forces had ground to a halt. Ryosuke's strategy had paid off. Unfortunately for Akabuto, the country's large reserve of gold was soon to be mobilized. By winter, a new type of support would begin to flow from the Anyuan dynasty, Mozira, and as far as the Auriani Empire: mercenaries. Join us next time as the Yume Shogunate faces its first serious counter-offensive, and the war enters a new, even more dangerous phase. But before then, I'll see you all soon. As the Akasorans might say, Dewa mata, and as always, may Kyrie be with you.